Hello, good morning. It's Tracy Daviero here with you from your VA Mentor and Kava and Gava. Welcome to our Monday Weekly Live. It is so cold here. We had a beautiful weekend, actually gorgeous weekend. It was in over 20 degrees Celsius, so whatever that is for the rest of the world, I don't know. But it was absolutely gorgeous. We spent the better part of the weekend outside. And we woke up this morning, grabbed my coffee, went out to the front porch. I knew it was going to get cooler overnight, but it's so cold. So I've got all my warmies on here. I've got my tea and I've got my socks on already because I was outside and it's too chilly. So welcome. I hope you had a good weekend and looking forward to kicking off another busy week. So I wanted to talk today about client onboarding. It's one of the things that I get asked about a lot, and it's kind of a funny thing because I don't always give a direct answer about it. And so I've decided that I've had so many questions about it recently that I've decided that I have to probably maybe put together a few blog posts or something like that for you, because I know there's a lot of questions around it. And I guess when you've been in business as long as I have, 22 years, some things just seem easy. And so, for the ones who are starting out, they aren't easy. So some of the things that, I know to teach you the things that I had to learn whenever I was getting started and that kind of thing. But some of these things surprise me, and the onboarding is one of the things that I often get asked about. So consider this one of several resources that we'll put together on client onboarding. So really all onboarding means is that once a client says that they are ready to work with you, that what happens next? That's what onboarding is, okay? So what happens next? The first thing you want to know, or that you want to be aware of, is that this is a crucial period of time for you. If a client tells you, if you've had a conversation with somebody and they say that they would like to have a sales conversation, like they would like to have a consult with you, that's a crucial time. You want to do that as quickly as you can. And then after you have the consult, then you want to, as quickly as you can, again, you want to get a proposal out to them or a follow-up email or whatever your process is. And then after they say yes, they want to work with you, it's absolutely crucial to get them rolling as quickly as possible. And so here's the thing that I think happens a lot of times. I'll say, I'll be talking to clients. I talk to a lot of clients who hire VAs as well. And they just say, well, somebody said they'd send me a proposal. It took me 3 days to get it. I just grit my teeth and I think, why? This is potential business. It's really important to drop everything you're doing and get that proposal off to that client because they're interested right now. And the more interest you show in them, the more you will, you'll stay top of mind, not top of mind, but you'll impress them, right? You'll definitely impress them. And so with your onboarding, so that is really the third stage, right, of connecting with people and actually getting the clients. The onboarding piece is really, really important. So it's important to have it set up now, whether you have clients or not. And you can tweak it and you can fix it. Of course you can. But for the basics, I'll tell you what you need for the basics. And you need to get it set up now because you need to be ready to get a client at any point. There's an interesting thing that says, and I don't know if it's a saying or if it's a quote or whatever it is, but what you focus on grows, right? And so when you are focusing on opening your business and getting things set up and you're talking to people about it and that kind of thing, you can inadvertently talk to somebody and get a client just like that. Maybe you're on your social media and you've started to make some connections in different groups and that kind of thing. And all of a sudden you have a client. And it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Somebody wants me to work with them. Somebody wants to have a discovery call. Somebody wants me to send them a proposal. Someone wants to hire me. And you don't have your paperwork ready to go. It's really important because when you're focusing on that, it really can happen quickly. So you want to make sure that you're prepared. So client onboarding, the very first thing you need is you need a contract that they can sign. And you need this to be, well, there's lots of places you can get contracts. If you join either the Global or Canadian Association of VAs, we have a sample contract in there. But if you want to make it, specific to your business and that kind of thing, it's really good idea to have a lawyer look it over. Not to say that you can't have it. Ours has been looked over by lawyers, but you really want to prepare yourself for that kind of thing. So any documentation that you're going to be sending people and having them sign, you really should have somebody look it over. But bottom line is you need a contract, okay? And so you want to not do any work with any clients until you have a signed contract, but you have to have it ready and ready to fill out easily and ready to send off to a client. Now, I'm not going to talk about what to put in your contract today because I've got other resources around that, but that's one thing that you definitely need. You need to collect the client's contact information. So you need to have their name, their company, their address, their phone number, their email, anything that you need in order to get in touch with them. Don't just use an email, right? If you're going to have a contract, put all of their contact info in there and then file it someplace into your client. I mean, you could do a client sheet, just a spreadsheet as you get started, or maybe you have a CRM, your invoicing system, whatever it is. You need to put them in all the places once they sign the contract, of course, but you have to have these things ready to go in case you send out a contract and 5 minutes later they send it back to you, because oftentimes that's what happens. They're waiting. You send it to them. They say, yep, that's great. And then, they send it right back. And then you have to do the next phase of your onboarding. So it's very, very important. So get their contact info, understand their payment details, and make sure they understand them. Of course, that's going to be detailed inside your contract, but you really do want to get that ironclad. What are you going to do for them, and how much is it going to cost them? Whatever way you charge. Project management system. You need to get them into your project management system, whatever that is. Again, if it's a sheet on the wall, if it's a spreadsheet that you keep in Google, if it's a project management system or a task system, whatever it is that you use, you need to get them in there and start to build the pieces around the work that you're going to do for them. If you said that you're going to help somebody with their client care and their newsletters and all those kinds of things, that's really easy to just sort of set up, get their name, information, contact info in there, and then start to, maybe make project newsletter, project client care. Like, you don't have to do anything super specific, but you do want to do as much as you can based on what you have said that you're going to do for them for services. Your time system, if you're going to be tracking your time and you have to do that with using any kind of a system, hopefully that is part of your project management system already, if that's the case. If not, where do you need to put them, and what do you need to add in order to start tracking your time and make sure that you're making the money that you're supposed to be making and that you're charging them effectively and properly. So calendar, do you have to put them in for a weekly call? Do you have to decide? I used to do production calls with my clients every Monday. Do you have to slot them in every Monday? Do you have to send them, put them into your Zoom calendar and send them a meeting link? Like, what are those things that you have to do? And then anything else that you need from them is important to put in your onboarding system. So if you need login information from them for certain things, if you need, to set up a content document because you're going to be managing their content, whatever all those things are. And that's why typically I don't talk about what you need to put into an onboarding package, because things are vastly different. A bookkeeper is totally different than somebody doing social media or somebody doing client care or follow-up or events or marketing or whatever. Everybody has specific things that they need to get from their clients in order to work with them properly. And so that's why I kind of leave all of that out, and I just say that's what's so specific about it. But the other pieces really are important to get in place too. And the last thing I would say is provide them somehow with, and it can be included in your contract if you want to, but provide them with some information around how you work, how you're supposed to communicate with each other, what your systems are, what the boundaries are, what your office hours are. It's sometimes nice to provide somebody with a welcome to my working relationship. I mean, I always call it a how I work document, but that seems kind of personal, right? How we will work together, or welcome to, XYZ VA services, or whatever it is. It might be nice to send a short PDF or something like that gives them the information. If you need this, this is how we do it. And so you don't want to be all, ruly and that kind of thing, but you do want to make sure that everybody who comes on to work with you understands what your, business hours are, what your response times are, all those kinds of things. So it's really important to, how to send you work, whatever those processes are. It might be really good to do that. Now, you can do that in a phone call with them, of course, but it's always good to have things in writing. And that's why I put that stuff right into my contract. I just put a couple of little blurbs with payment terms and turnaround times and all those kinds of things, because that's the piece that they've signed and sent back to me. And so they've effectively said that they've read it and agreed with it. So it's really important. So client onboarding, it's not challenging, it's not difficult, but it is something that I get asked about an awful lot. And so I wanted to do a video for you. And yeah, I hope that was helpful for you. I'd love to hear your questions and your comments on client onboarding, what you like to do, what you have questions about, what you struggle with in terms of it. And if I can provide you with a resource, I'd love to do that. So that's all I got for you. Take care. See you next week.